Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Happy holidays! Merry Christmas! Happy Hanukkah! Merry Kwanzaa! Happy whatever the heck you celebrate this time of year, or Merry nothing if you don't. So, hey everyone, this is hopefully gonna go up before Christmas. This is definitely something I'll be working on during my vacation, as I announced in an update video. I am about to go on a flight home tomorrow to visit the family for Christmas, so there's that, but I figured I'd make a quick vlog and have a vlogisode before I go, although prepare for vlogage after Christmas, because like I mentioned in my update, I'm going to be getting together with a bunch of people from YouTube, you know, besides Foo, obviously, Tamal, Scooter, a bunch of people from CSS, etc., 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 and there's going to be shenanigans to be had for sure, so there will be plenty of vlogging, I'm sure, between that and Magfest. I will be going to Magfest. You've seen my... In case you guys are looking to meet me at Magfest, I will be cosplaying as Professor Oak for at least one of the days, if not more. And so if you see Professor Oak running around, it could possibly be me. And I'm more than happy to meet the fans and hang out and talk and whatever the heck floats your boat, really. It's Magfest. We're going to have a good time. So anyone's going to Magfest and wants to say hi to me, hunt me down, or I'll try to tweet where I am more often than not, and I'll also, if you guys like say, oh, I'm going to be over here, I might come try to hunt people down. We'll see. Really up to you guys. I'll be wearing this shirt probably during one of the things too. It's this really cool Majora's Mask shirt. I love this thing. And then you've seen some of the other shirts, my Toad shirt, my Doctor, my Link, my Zelda Doctor Who shirt. There we go. The Hero of Space and Time. That's what I'm thinking of. So I'll probably be wearing those if I'm not dressed Professor Oak. So if you kind of see any of those and you recognize my beautiful visage, then feel free to come say hi. I don't actually know many events at Magfest, so I don't really know like what I'll be doing there. Probably a lot of gaming at the arcades and stuff, and just hanging with the group. I'm with a giant group of LPers, so if you see a massive group of people you recognize from YouTube, I may be in it. But that's kind of the plan for Magfest, and we'll just have to kind of go from there. So, like I said, lots of crazy vlogitude coming in the future from that, though. But that's not what this vlog was about. This vlog, I decided, because Christmas is coming up soon, you guys might be wondering, oh, well, there's been a lot of really cool Nintendo games that came out in the past few months, and I figured, you know what? We'll talk about, you know, what my feelings about these past few Nintendo games and kind of give, you know, Lucky Seven's recommendations on video games and my opinions and thoughts on them in time for Christmas, where hopefully many of you will get these great games and be able to play them now, finally. So, I guess this is just me hyping up some games that hopefully a lot of you people will be getting for Christmas if you don't already own. So, we have the big 3 games that came out on the Xbox One launch that I'll talk about. Super Mario 3D World, Link Between Worlds, and Mario Party Island Tour. And then I guess I'll also discuss 2 other games that came out recently that I've loved to death, Pokemon X and Y, and Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. So we'll talk about all 5 of these, and I'll give you my thoughts and feels on them, and just kind of go on a little mini rant about all of them, and maybe you can get some recommendations for Christmas from that. I don't know! This is just kind of a spontaneous thing. I just wanted something to vlog about, and I decided, hey, that's a cool topic, we'll do that. And by the way, 2 things. 1, leave comments below about what you want me to vlog about in the future, and 2, let me know, by the way, if you want this this vlog on a separate channel, or if you like it on one channel. I have had discussions about this in the future, or I've had discussions kind of in like descriptions and stuff, and people have left some opinions, though I've gotten kind of, you know, half and half, really. So I kind of want an official, like, leave comments below about, you know, whether you want this in a separate thing or not, because I'm kind of trying to get the general vibe of the fan base, and it's a little bit mixed, so I'm kind of curious to hear from more people about that. Anyways, so let's talk about video games. Very important subject for the world today. Video games, those video games. Okay, so we'll start with Pokemon, because Pokemon was the earliest one that came out, and that's cool, and I can hear my roommates walking around. It's really disconcerting. But Pokemon X, I have Pokemon X. I didn't get Y, I got X because the Legendary of X. Like, I wanted a fairy deer thing. It looks like it's from, like, Princess Mononoke or whatever the heck that weird deer thing is from. I don't really remember. But, that's why I got X. Pretty much that, and I thought Charizard X and Mewtwo X were more badass than Mewtwo Y and Charizard Y. Just personal preference, really. But, I'm not gonna lie. Well, first of all, I'm still a bigger fan of Gen 5. That's just me. I'll go into the reasons for that in a second, but as a huge fan of Gen 5, at first, I was really heavily turned off by Gen 6. Like, I really, my first impression of it was that it was terrible. Not gonna lie, it did not sweep me off my feet. And the game does have problems that, in my opinion, compared to, what I guess I'm spoiled from Gen 5. Gen 5 I consider to be really great because A, all new Pokemon, every single Pokemon was new. Until you get to the post-game, which I thought was awesome because it's kind of like starting your own journey where you're not seeing any of the old faces, you're not having to fight Zubats in caves anymore, and you're not fighting the same old Pokemon over and over again, you're fighting entirely new ones. And then this game kind of started and there was like, hey, you have a new starter and like maybe 2 new Pokemon here. Here's like all the Pokemon you've seen before ever. Here's Pikachu and Meryl and Dunsparce and Bidoof and Zigzagoon. Have fun. I'm just like, this isn't the most, I don't know, it was just, the beginning was really rough. There was just nothing really new to be excited for. I was like, I'm just playing the same old game again, and as fun as Pokemon is, like, that's kind of what really threw me off of being that, and instead of epic story, it's the story of Pokemon Black really started out really nicely right away. With the whole N thing and being like, who is this N guy? Who is this Gestus guy? Oh, interesting things. And Team Plasma actually doing stuff, like, early on. This one was just kind of like, we're all friends, let's go on an adventure, and I'm just like, really? We're doing this plot again? And to be fair, the plot of X and Y just kind of stayed at that level. Like, the plot of X and Y was just like, non-existent, 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 holy shit, everything's happening! Non-existent, 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 non-existent. That's kind of how it was, as opposed to Black and White, which kind of had, plot throughout the entire thing, and, all the gym leader battles had relevance, and blah, blah, blah. This one was very much harking back to the original generations, and it threw me off at first, because I really liked the direction the series was going in with Gen 5. And then it kind of backpedaled towards, like, a more classic sort of Pokemon for Gen 6. Which, if you like classic Pokemon, is great. Don't get me wrong, X and Y turned out to be an amazing game. I think it's the second best generation in the Pokemon series. It's just that a lot of initial things, if you're a big Gen 5 fan, threw me off quite a bit. So I just kind of wanted to rant about that and kind of explain why I kind of had icky feelings about X and Y to begin with. And just kind of prepare you guys, if you guys are very big Gen 5 fans and haven't touched Gen 6 yet, just a little buffer about, this is the direction this series is going, don't be surprised. They kind of changed the whole brand experience, though, but they added experience share, which here's my recommendation, because experience share is a big source of controversy. What they changed it to is that it gives experience to everyone in the party, regardless of in the battle, your Pokemon Elite still gets full experience. It gives experience to everyone. So in other words, by turning experience share on, and it's a toggle on and off, you essentially get, what, 250% more experience from every battle? Which is great for leveling Pokemon, but it breaks the game really easily if you abuse it. The solution that I found out, and this is the reason why I turned out to love X and Y so much, is I just ended up training 10 Pokemon instead of 6. Thus, that extra 250% experience ended up being transferred to that, and it made my Pokemon still a balanced level, and I got to raise even more Pokemon as a result. So, raise more if you're going to abuse experience share, and it really works out really nicely, because you can make a really varied, interesting team. And it was actually kind of a lot of fun to do that, so that was definitely a props. If you play with that style, it's really fun. Otherwise, you risk making the game really easy, and if you want to make the game really easy, more power to you. But if you want a challenge, I mean, it's just, the experience share is so much very much like instant win button versus making things harder for no reason button. Which I don't like having those in games, but if you do it this way, it makes it really interesting. So there's that. The new Pokemon definitely filled a lot of interesting niches, and I liked it. Once I actually started finding the new Pokemon, they were really cool. Like, Flabébé single-handedly made me go from hating the game to loving the game. So that Pokemon, and the new fairy types are awesome. So don't get me wrong, and Mega Evolutions are really fun to use too. So once those things start trickling in, it starts getting a lot better. I wish there was a lot more new Pokemon. So another thing I fault the game for is that it has very few new Pokemon. It's like on the level of Diamond and Pearl in terms of new Pokemon, so not that many. I guess every other gen they just decided not to do a lot of new Pokemon. I don't know, because 2, 4, and 6 did not have many new Pokemon. Maybe it's an even number thing. I don't know, but that was kind of something I was a little disappointed in too. But so it's those factors that kind of hold me back from saying that it's the best game ever. But like I said, really lighthearted adventure, still really fun. Battles are beautiful. All the new Pokemon are really like the new Pokemon are definitely quality over quantity. At least I can give them that. There are very few new Pokemon that don't have a really cool niche to fill. And I like a lot of the new Pokemon. They're really fun. The new starters are amazing. They're like the best starters since 4th gen. I don't know if I'd call them the best over 4th gen, but they come pretty darn close. The new starters are really, really good. So, and the whole Friend Safaris and a lot of the post-game stuff is really cool too. So, it's a darn solid game. Just if you're a big fan of Gen 5, just be prepared, because I was not prepared for all these changes, and it kind of smacked me in the face and gave me a really bad first taste. But in the end, it's still a really fun game. So, X and Y. Lots of thoughts about that one. That one dragged on for a lot longer than I wanted it to. Let's talk about other games. The DLC-only Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. If you haven't played the Phoenix Wright series, go check it out. It's a very underrated and very fun series. Not really an LPable series, otherwise I would totally do it, because it's seriously one of my favorite series ever. And this game is definitely, if quite possibly the best in the series. It introduces some really cool new mechanics. It's really fun. It has DLC that's actually relevant and awesome and worth buying, by the way. And if you haven't checked out the Phoenix Wright series, I mean, it's a good enough time to get into. The characterization in this game is awesome. The story writing is just amazing. It's just such a solid game. They brought back, the original Phoenix Wright character and made him into a total badass, by the way. And they just made it into a really solid game. So if you haven't checked out the Phoenix Wright series, go check it out. It's really fun. I do highly recommend it. If you do like the Phoenix Wright series but have been worried about this new one, it's arguably the best in the series. It rivaled Trials and Tribulations for me, and that game is amazing. So I would check it out. It's a great direction the series is going in. Really lots of fun, so do it. It's a great series. Otherwise, we have the trifecta of new games that came out during the Xbox One launch. Two of them have been super acclaimed for being positive, and I will back up those claims. Super Mario 3D World and Link Between Worlds are both amazing, amazing games, if not like the best in their respective series. Super Mario 3D World, it's really, really fun co-op. It's definitely the best co-op Mario experience you can get. They took away the whole, separate live counters. They have shared lives, so dicking of your friends kind of hurts you in the long run. And it also kind of makes it more fun when everyone dies. And it kind of balances out, too, so you don't have someone with, 99 lives, and then the better players have, 2. So as long as you have, decent amount of players, it's all good. Lots of collectibles, lots of really interesting... It has some of the best level design in Mario ever. Every single level felt really unique and really fun. And they're short, they're short levels. They're quick and easy to get through, but they're also pretty challenging, too, and really unique concepts. So it keeps fresh throughout the entire thing. And there's so many levels. They have so many unique levels, it's ridiculous. And the new power-ups are awesome too, by the way. So, just the amount of variety that game has, people say it's the best Mario game since 64, which I can't really say because I thought Galaxy 2 was better than 64. I really enjoyed Galaxy 2. But it's quite possibly my new favorite Mario game. It's a solid game, and if you have a Wii U, it is a must-buy, in my opinion. It's super fun co-op, it's super fun single-player. It's just an all-around fun and creative. It's Mario back to its roots of just creative, fun, interesting, unique platforming levels. And that's where Nintendo shines the best, is when they just take the original concept and just continue making fun little concepts, not just a whole lot like a gimmick-based game, but just gimmick-based levels. They do really well in that sort of style, and this really worked a lot. So, I really highly recommend Super Mario 3D World for anyone who has a Wii U, and if you don't have a Wii U yet, I mean, it is expensive, but eventually you might want to get one. If you ever do get one, get Super Mario 3D World. It's the best game on the Wii U right now. Otherwise, we have the two 3DS games. We have Link Between Worlds, which I think is my new favorite game in the entire series, although it's hard to compare 2D and 3D, so when I'm saying, oh, it's better than Majora's Mask, it's so hard to compare the two. And Twilight Princess. Those are my two favorite 3D ones. I like dark games. What can I say? I'm a dark person. But Link Between Worlds, it's just a nice, refreshing return to the classic formula. Really quick dungeons, really quick levels. I mean, it doesn't have that much. It doesn't get bogged down by story like a lot of Zeldas have been doing lately. There's not a lot of story. It's just go do dungeons, go explore this world, have a good time. The world is pretty much open up to you right from the beginning of the game. You can get a ton of exploration done. It rewards you for exploration. The new rental system, they give you all the items, or most of the items, right at the beginning of the game. But they do it really well, because they basically, instead of basing dungeons around, having to find the item and then do gimmicks with it, basically the entire dungeon is just revolved around a certain, a certain weapon and using it in all sorts of unique and crazy ways, alongside your new power of going on walls, which is really well implemented. The amount of things the amount of backwards thinking and weird thinking you have to do with this whole walking on walls thing, the puzzles are really cool with that. They really implemented that really well. And the new 2D dungeons are just so cool. They 2D dungeons with a 3DS power and them able to do like interesting things with 3D and all these different effects and gimmicks, it worked out really nicely. And the cool thing about being able to have all the weapons is they made most of the bosses pretty much be able to get hit by most of the weapons too, which allows you to take, multiple different strategies with your weapon setups, and you can choose, when you want to upgrade certain weapons and whatnot, and there's basically, you can kind of make your own playstyle in a Zelda game, which is really new and unique. That's what this whole rental system should be about, is finding your own unique playstyle and going with it. And that's kind of what the whole Street Pass system, the whole, fighting other people's Zeldas revolves around, is, taking your unique style and testing it against other people's unique styles. And it's really kind of cool. So I kind of wish they would have like a Zelda multiplayer where both players would be in control, though. That'd be really fun to just fight someone else's Zelda, or someone else's Link. That'd be like with them actually controlling the Link. That would be a really fun multiplayer experience. Nintendo, do that next game. That'd be really cool. The rental system isn't something I think would work for every Zelda, but it's a gimmick that really was really well implemented. It's just a fast-paced, quick... It is a bit too easy. That's the one big flaw of it, but characters are still interesting. The plot still ends up being really good despite how minimalist it is, and it's just pure exploration and just pure, quick, simple dungeons. Well, not simple, they're complicated, but just, they're quick. It's a very fast-paced game, which is nice. I like having a fast-paced game because it means I can replay it a lot and not, have to spend 50 hours for a new playthrough. Quick games have their advantages, and it's just the amount of fast-paced this new Zelda is, combined with how cool the rental system really works on paper, and, being able to have your own sort of unique style with, the weapons you pick and which ones you upgrade and which ones you use the most. It just ends up being really, really rewarding. Like, the whole game, just every bit of exploration feels super rewarding. There's so much to do in the world, despite, it's still a pretty decently big world. They just basically took the Link to the Past world and revamped it completely and made it even more fun with the whole, all the new mechanics and everything like that. So, I can't praise this game highly enough. Link Between Worlds is quite possibly my new favorite Zelda, and it is, if you have a 3DS and you're a Zelda fan, buy it, because it is... Maybe it won't be your favorite, because, there's certainly some flaws to say. It's a bit easy. Although they do have a hero mode, so they can make it harder. Dying to everything in 2 hits kind of makes the game a bit harder. But it's just a really solid... It was a really solid... And I haven't had that much fun playing a game in a very, very long time. It's just a solid, solid game. Nintendo's been taking Mario and Zelda back to their roots, and that was what they needed to do, because they are so strong when they're back at their classical roots. It just works so well. Classical roots of new technology and being able to really expand to all the different directions and imagination and creativity of their levels. It's just a beautiful freaking thing. I applaud you, Nintendo, for taking that direction for your games, and I hope you continue to do that so far for Donkey Kong Country Returns, New Super Mario 3D World, Zelda. They're just really going back to the roots. I enjoy it. It's really cool. So, the other game is Mario Party Island Tour. And this one is the game that, if you're thinking of getting for Christmas, I would recommend against. It is the flop of the 5. There's been a lot of good games recently, but not all of them can be good. Nintendo, this is a plea. Please return Mario Party back to its roots. That and Paper Mario, by the way, both of those really need to get returned to their roots, but Mario Party has... Okay, so they took Mario Party, and they turned it into a worse version of Wii Party. No longer do you go around a board collecting stars. No longer do you even get mini stars on a journey like Mario Party 9. Mario Party 9 was still okay. This one is literally go from point A to point B first. Literally whoever gets to go first in the game has a huge advantage for starters. It's so ridiculously luck-based, and it's just bad. It's not fun. You can beat some of the game modes in like 2 turns. The download play has been really spotty, not even working well, so the multiplayer is poorly implemented. And it's just, the single-player experience is just not fun at all. Like, I haven't even played all the minigames because I just have no reason to go play that game. It's just not fun at all. The minigames are actually pretty solid. I will admit the minigames... Well, they're not... The thing is, they're nothing too special, though. They're average, which is good, because Mario Party's average minigame level is pretty darn high. Like, the minigames live up to a Mario Party game, but they don't blow me away enough to make up for the fact that the actual game mode is terrible. Like, I would love these minigames on a traditional Mario Party board. That would be perfect. That would be so much fun. It would have been a really solid game then. It would have been one of my favorite Mario Parties then, because it's a pretty solid. I love handheld Mario Parties, but the whole having to go from it's literally just go from point A to point B before anyone else does. It's basically a watered-down Wii Party, and Wii Party was fun, but it wasn't really the best, and it had certain things that are better than Mario Party that made it better. like being able to change turn order and stuff like that. Like, this one is just, there were so many game modes where whoever just managed to go first at the beginning would have a huge advantage, just because, like I said, it's a race to get from point A to point B. There's no strategy involved, and it's really very highly luck-based, and just, you know, with a few mini-games thrown in here, which, to their benefit, they do have more mini-games now, at least per game, than Mario Party 9 did, but also that you can beat the games in a few turns, so maybe even not that. So it's just, it's the first game in a very long time I've been very tempted to return. And to say that for a Mario Party game is just really sad, because those are games you should be able to play whenever. And I don't even want to own it anymore. So if you're thinking about getting that game over other games, I would highly recommend getting other games, because it's just, it's the low point in the Mario Party series. Mario Party Advance might even be better than it. It's just, the game mode is not fun, in my opinion. They dropped the ball, and they really need to return Mario Party to its core series. That's the way to save Mario Party, is just continue it worked. It worked for 8 freaking games, 9 if you include Mario Party DS. Why change the formula? It's fun. You can still do so much of that formula. Or at least, you know, have a traditional mode if you're going to include new gimmicks. Like, make it at least one traditional one, so at least I can go there and just play that one only. But I mean, I like games expanding in new directions, but when you just turn into a really watered-down bastardization of Wii Party and Mario Party 9 and then call it a game, did you try it? It's not even that fun. So, unfortunately, that game kind of ended up being a flop. So, those are my thoughts on video games. I hope this is... if you guys want my thoughts on video games more, I can certainly continue to do this for new releases and old releases. If you guys want thoughts on old classics and my rants on a bunch of different other games from the past, let me know if this is the kind of vlog you guys want to see more of. Otherwise, like I said, give me more topics to talk about in the comments, and I will try to get around to a lot of them. Maybe we'll have like a LuckySevenDX potpourri where I just answer a bunch of the random ones and whatnot. No new fan art to report today. Actually, I guess there is a new fan art I could report. Actually, there's a search them all one, so I might throw that one like up here or something like that. Hey, fan art! But if you have more fan art, obviously submit it to me and I will showcase it in my vlogs. Otherwise, guys, have a happy holidays. Like I said, I hope to see a lot of you guys at Magfest. I will be, like I said, Professor Oak, and I will also be wearing my t-shirts. And also, I made this vlog really long. Again, I really should stop doing this, but I just talk way too much, and I do apologize. If you guys like longer vlogs, that's cool. If you want me to make short ones, let me know, too. Give me feedback, because I'm listening to all your guys' feedback, and the more you tell me, the more I can improve this as to what the majority of you want to see. And that's kind of the goal of this vlog. It's an open channel of communication between me and you guys, and I just talk about things, and you guys can kind of steer me in the direction where you want these vlogs to go, and I'll be more than happy to listen and follow. So that's kind of the plan. Like I said, guys, have a happy holidays, have a happy new year, lots of cool stuff to come. I'm going to do my best to get videos out during this time period, and there will be some epic vlogs, a lot of fun LPRs coming really soon, so I hope you guys look forward to that. I am, certainly. So I will see you guys in the next vlog where I talk about whatever the hell I feel like talking about that day. See you guys then. Bye-bye.